Hi, welcome to my latest video. Today I'm going to be fitting this Mantec sump guard to a Land Rover Freelander 2 2009 XS. I bought this one on eBay. It's used. It's got seen some action here. Got a few scratches on it already. Hole there for the front towing eye, and 4 large holes there for some bolts. I've got some bolts with it as well. I'm not sure at the moment how this actually attaches on. I'm pretty sure that these 4 bolts are take the place of the 4 front bolts for the factory under tray, what some people call the sump guard. Really, it's guarding the sump, but it's not a front bash plate like this. Some Land Rovers, like Defenders, have a similar kind of thing. People call it a steering guard because they have their steering rack at the front. The steering rack's at the back behind the engine on the Freelander 2, so this is not a steering guard. It's really just a front underbody protection plate which goes under here and will come up the front, probably to about here. I don't think it covers this. This needs to be visible for the intercooler and aircon and radiator and everything behind there. So the sump guard fits underneath and then comes up here. There are no bolts actually up the front. This piece here doesn't have any bolts, so it really just sits up there on its own. Hopefully snug fit. Hopefully it's not going to be vibrating about or flapping in the wind or anything. This is made of pretty thick aluminium. That looks like sort of 5-6 mil thick, possibly thicker, so it should work well. What I've decided to do, seeing as this one was second hand and it's already been heavily well used, I'm going to cut some holes in it, only because I like the look of the Defender steering guards. A lot of those have sort of 3 or 4 holes either side, so I'm going to cut probably 3 and then 2 lower holes on each side. 70mm, cut those through the aluminium sheet with a big hole saw, and personally I think that'll make it look a bit better. We shall see. Could end up snagging on a rock or digging the mud and causing more of a problem, so I need to be a bit careful. I don't want the holes too low down. You can see the scratches tend to start about there, so I need to keep higher up if I'm gonna make any holes in it. Right, I shall mark that up, cut the holes, and then probably give it a spray with some paint. I want to keep it silver, but I might go for a slightly sort of darker shade, like a sort of gunmetal metallic grey. I'll see what paint I can get hold of. Might make it look a little bit better. Okay, so I've marked up the positions on here where I want to make holes. I'm going to use this 70mm hole saw here. Pretty sure that will cut through metal as well as wood and things. So before I do that, what I've done, I've put a very small 2mm drill mark on there, and I'll just use this 5mm drill just to make the holes a bit bigger, purely because that pilot drill on there is quite large, and when that's down on there I'm not going to be able to see exactly where it is, end up drilling in the wrong place. So I'll enlarge these pilot holes slightly with this 5mm drill, and then there should be no issue getting that one in the right place. Okay, right, here we go. Okay, that's all the 5mm pilot holes drilled. Now we'll pop this one on and do some serious cutting. That's one hole made. Nine to go. I'll need to neaten this up a bit. Okay, I've now drilled all of the holes. It's a bit of a job. Burnt out the motor on my drill and had to get a new motor, a new fan, put that in. The pilot drill in the centre of the hole saw kept on snapping, so I got through about 4 of those, but managed to get this done. What I need to do now is just deburr this edge. It's a little bit sharp, so I've got my drill with a flap sanding wheel here. I'm just going to use that to clean up the edge and just sort of smooth it a bit. Just giving this a spray coat of filler primer. It's a sort of high build primer before I spray an undercoat of silver followed by a top coat of dark metallic grey. This primer will also help sort of fill in any little scratches. I'm not going to bother spraying down here. That bit's going to be hidden from view underneath the car and it's going to get completely scraped anyway, so not a lot of point. It's this section here which I want to spray because that will be visible from in front of the car. Okay, sprayed it all over with yellow high build primer, and then I've put a coat of some Mazda silver paint that I had from an old MX-5 that I used to own. Just a spare can of silver paint just as an undercoat. There we go, and then the next coat will be this, which is actually BMW Space Grey Metallic. It's a nice sort of gunmetal dark grey colour, metallic grey. I just think it'll look nicer than silver or bare aluminium. It'll go with the Lego grey with the Land Rover as well. Okay, right, let's get spraying. Put the top coat on and it's ready to fit. Okay, that's now sprayed with the darker grey metallic. You can't really see it in this light. It looks like the aluminium that it was before, although it is actually a darker, just about kind of see a darker metallic grey. It's not as dark as Lego grey. I didn't want it as dark as Lego grey. I just wanted it a sort of gunmetal kind of slightly darker than silver and aluminium. That looks alright. That looks good. Right, I'm going to get that fitted to the car now. Okay, now we're going to look at fitting this sump guard. What I've done here is put the car up on ramps, and I've removed the standard under tray. It normally protects the bottom of the engine. The reason I've taken that off is so that we can see how this sump guard actually bolts on. I'll move that forward. You can actually see how it goes. So that will be bolted on with the 2 rear bolts, and then the other 4 bolts actually go through the sump guard as well. There we go. Now, it did come with longer bolts. Might use those. I might use the stainless bolts. I think the M10 stainless steel bolts that I've previously fitted for securing this on. I replaced the standard factory steel ones with stainless steel. They're fairly long. I'm pretty sure they'll be long enough to go through that. If not, I'll use the ones that came with the sump guard. Looking under the front of the car, you can see the standard sort of protection on the front end. So this grille here protects the intercooler. There's this piece which we can remove, which I think you're supposed to remove to get full access to the towing eye. And then this ridiculous excuse for underbody protection, which as you can see is cracked and scratched from various off-roading expeditions that I've done. This I'd like to remove. It's surplus to requirements now. It'll be completely covered by the new sump guard, and I want to try and completely get rid of that. So I'm going to turn these, take that off, and then see if I can remove this flimsy plastic piece here. Okay, I've fitted the sump guard. A little bit difficult getting that put on there because it uses 4 of the bolt holes that the standard factory underpan uses. So you have to sort of get the underpan in, put the 2 normal bolts in the back, and then sort of with one hand kind of hold it up at the front and push up the sump guard and get these big M10 Allen head bolts that came with it in. The standard bolts don't seem long enough to go all the way through. I didn't even try them. I just sort of held them up and they didn't look long enough, so I've used these quite long ones, because even though this here is 6mm aluminium, there's a sort of big reinforcing ring on the other side that's pretty chunky. So in order to get through all of that, I've used the longer bolts. I think that looks good. Now what I've done behind here is removed this, which is the plastic thing, and the towing eye cover as well. Both of those are no longer required. The only thing I might do next time the sump guard comes off is spray or clean this. I think it is actually grey plastic, it's not just dirty. Is spray that black just so it looks a bit darker. Can actually see some things in there like intercooler hoses and bits and bobs, but that's okay, I can live with that. I don't think there's any damage is going to be caused by grit or stones going in there. There's nothing too delicate behind there. There's no need really for that towing eye cover behind there. Okay, right, I'm going to let that down off the ramps now, and we'll stand back and we'll see what it looks like. Go down off the ramps. There's the sump guard. I think that looks good. Good, very pleased with that. I hope that video was useful. Thanks for watching.